everyone, you're watching VGO 40, and today we also have a special guest.
Hey, it's BerniesGreenLife. How's everyone doing?
Hey Bernie! And we're taking a look at World of Kings and the Frostmoon Library Dungeon. And we're going to go through from both the DPS and the tank's point of view today. Okay, first of all, clear all the mobs up to the bosses. Okay, first off, I just want to point out that off to the left-hand side here, if you go over to the pile of boxes, there are some sparkles there and a book. So if you have not gotten the book from this dungeon, definitely go over to the side there and pick it up. Okay, as far as the setup goes, you're going to split it up into your raid up into two different groups, about equal. And you want one tank in each group. One goes to the moon side, they'll pull the male boss, and one is going to be over at the purple side, and they will pull the female boss, and we're over at the purple side. Now you want the DPS to be about equal because you want the bosses to die at the same time, and you're going to have either a tank or a healer that's designated to stop the orbs in the middle. So again, here we have a Templar because he can heal himself, and also a healer who are going to be doing the orbs in the middle. Now from the tank point of view, I'm going to be pulling the boss along the wall, and most of this fight you're not going to be able to see much because I am against the wall, which is why I had Bernie come in and help and do a video also from this raid. And he's on the other side with the other tank, and that tank will pull their boss along the wall. So you can see kind of off to the front there's these yellow puddles, so we're going to just kind of pull the boss back a little bit as we go along the wall. Now I'm a little too far out, but you just kind of make sure that the DPS has enough room and pull along that wall. Now for the DPS, is there anything special that they need to do during these phases?
The DPS wants to make sure that they're always hugging the outside. And the reason why this is important is at certain phases during the fight, specifically at 80% of the female's health, 60% of the female's health, 40% and 20%, again, of the female boss's health. Once the female reaches those HP levels, 80, 60, 40, and 20, the center of the room is going to spawn ice orbs and fire orbs.
Yeah, I saw.
So we want to make sure, and we want to make sure that the DPS is not in the way and accidentally tripping one of those orbs off, because it's very important that those orbs get tripped in order. In other words, normally we do the ice orb, and then we trip a fire orb, and then we trip an ice orb, and then we trip a fire orb, in that order. We alternate.
Now you can see that in the background here, where they are running to the fire and then ice, and then fire, then ice. Now does it always have to be alternating between fire and ice?
It does.
Alright, the only other thing to note is if you watch the video, you'll see that the male boss will cross the room sometimes.
And the funny thing about the male is he'll run around. So even though the tank is doing a great job of holding aggro, he will leave the tank and go attack somebody else, either a DPS, fighting him, or he'll go to the other side and attack someone fighting the female boss. And so we tend to split up the two sides based on range DPS and melee DPS. So meaning we have our range DPS fighting the male. So that way when the male is running across the room, our range DPS can still keep attacking the boss, even though he's no longer near us.
Okay.
Unlike the melees where you have to chase them, and we don't want people chasing the boss, because then that means they're no longer hugging the outside walls and they're running to chase. So normally we have our melees all fighting the female, so that way they can just be stationary and not have to run across the room to chase a boss. Because the female doesn't, she won't leave. She'll stay on the tank,
Yeah.
as long as the tank has aggro.
Okay. Okay, and then when you're finishing up the fight, you just want to make sure that the two bosses die at the same time.
Oh, yeah, so that's a great point, BGO40. The bosses do have to die at the same time because the minute one boss dies, the other boss that's still alive will enrage.
Thank you so much for that great information. And that's about it for this fight. I'm going to include some links in the description for Bernie's Green Life. Please go to his page and check out some of the fights. And we will see you next time in World of Kings.